Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian is a brand new rom-com show that focuses on Alya, a Russian girl now living in Japan, who is deeply in love with Masachika Kuze, her polar opposite in personality type. There are too many reasons why this show works on so many different levels, but I'm going to tell you why this show is so out of pocket, but honestly, really good too. Alya is in school with Kuze, right? Well, she sometimes speaks in Russian in order to express her romantic desire for him. However, unbeknownst to Alya, Kuze can speak and understand Russian. Yes, he hears every little word from "give me attention" to "please date me." It's one of those anime premises where you think to yourself, this would never happen in real life, but it technically could happen, okay? The sheer astronomical improbability of this plot point is ridiculous, but that's what makes it so entertaining. Kuze obviously plays dumb to pretend he does not know what she is saying, but it gets harder and harder for him not to reply back in Russian. I could really name 1,000 little things that this show does right, including the snide remarks of Alya against her slacker love interest, the euphoric highs of the romantic moments that are sprinkled throughout the show, or the captivating emotional background scenes. One of the fantastic parts of this show is the comedy though. Alya will put herself out there a little too much sometimes, and Kuze will use that opportunity to tease her and eventually push her to the limit socially. This usually ends up with Alya absolutely whacking Kuze either by fist or a stiff kick. This does not mean that it is your typical cliched anime, far from it. There are these extra layers to the story that go beyond just the inappropriate humor. Sure, I do not like the weird anime cringe moments in this show. I don't condone what's happening in the show all the time. I wish they abstained from the tropes of every other perverted anime. However, I don't think this entirely ruins the show. What's more important though is that this anime underpins this surface level running gag with a truly sweet and touching story for the main two characters. You see, Alya is a picture perfect princess type who does not desire to get by simply on her looks or innate talent. She wishes to pursue everything that she does as intensely as possible, forcing things to bend to her will. However, Kuze is much more easygoing, and while he can display powerful actions of competency, like getting the other classmates extremely motivated to help out with a culture festival, he ultimately wants to live a life of enjoyment. That's why he will stay up late and have to sleep during class. He likes to watch anime and eat spicy ramen. Kuze is a normal dude who has a weird side, but he's not an idiot even though Alya likes to call him one. The truly special scenes where Kuze saves Alya from an onslaught of boys asking her to dance, or that saddening flashback to Alya's childhood where no one would help her work hard on a project. Those moments are what make this show so amazing to watch. And I think we might be able to join two sides of a debate here. The English dub is actually great in this show. While there are some Americanized lines of dialogue that I could take or leave, honestly, as I am pretty sure one of the characters used the word Riz, most of the dub is pretty freaking funny. The Japanese voice actress for Alya, funnily enough, majored in Russian during college, and so her starring in the show is quite cool. While the little factoid behind the Japanese dub is incredibly fascinating, I still think you can have a great time watching it with English voice actors. I also think that I could go on and on about how this show subverts tropes and brings unique takes on the rom-com genre, and while those things may be true, the real appeal is the fact that I watched 4 episodes in one day with no delay. I eagerly binged this series, which tells you just how entertaining it really was. I know that this show is simply a story developed solely for the male fantasy of a girl fawning over the self-insert main character. It's also a slightly unhinged anime in many facets. However, Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian ultimately envelops you with romantic highs and commits deeply to furthering the bond between the two seemingly opposed individuals. For me, it's a 9.25 out of 10 so far.